Queens of Speed, the golden era of women's sprinting, 2017 to 2025. It always begins with silence. A stadium holds its breath. 8 women crouch on the starting line. Warriors carved in motionless focus. The gun raises, hearts tremble, and then, bang. 8 explosions tear down the track. Every World Championship final carries the same rhythm, the same thunder. But between 2017 and 2025, that thunder became something more. It became a symphony of legacy, resilience, and womanhood. From Tori Bowie's unforgettable sprint in London to Melissa Jefferson Wooden's historic triumph in Tokyo 2025, this era wasn't just about gold medals. It was about identity. It was about power. It was about women who ran not only for victory, but for meaning. 2017 Tori Bowie, the angel of the finish line. London, 2017. The world was watching. In a race that promised fireworks, Tori Bowie, calm, determined, almost serene, stood among giants. Elaine Thompson, Daphne Shippers, Marie-Josée Talu. When the gun fired, it was chaos, a blur of motion and muscle. But in the final 10 meters, something divine happened. Bowie leaned, desperate, fearless, instinctive, and fell across the finish line. It wasn't graceful. It wasn't perfect. But it was enough. 10.85 seconds. World champion. Her body crashed to the ground, her arms sprawling across the track. And yet, her face broke into a smile, not of dominance, but relief. "I just want it so bad," she said, tears shining under the London lights. "All my life, I've been running towards something I couldn't see. Tonight, I found it." That image, Bowie stretched across the line, gold secured by pure heart, became one of track and field's immortal moments. In her victory, the world saw purity, not arrogance, not spectacle, but soul. Years later, when the sport mourned her untimely passing, fans would return to that image, the angel at the finish line, and whisper, "She didn't just win gold. She showed us what it means to give everything." 2019, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the Phoenix in gold. 2 years later, the world had changed, and so had Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. At 32, she had returned to the track not just as an athlete, but as a mother. Many doubted her. Too old, too short, too late. But those who knew her, who saw that fire behind her smile, knew better. When she arrived at the 2019 World Championships in Doha, her hair blazed with rainbow colors. Every shade told a story: struggle, faith, motherhood, rebirth. And then, on that humid Qatari night, she flew. From the gun, Shelly was pure lightning. Her drive phase crisp, her form flawless. By the halfway mark, she was gone. No one could touch her. When she crossed the line in 10.71 seconds, history bowed. "I am a mother. I am a champion. I am still here." The stadium erupted. Teammates cried. Her son, Zian, ran into her arms on the track. The photo of them embracing became timeless. Fraser-Pryce wasn't just fast. She was freedom incarnate. She shattered the idea that motherhood meant slowing down. She redefined what a woman's prime could be. 2022, Shelly-Ann again, the legacy of grace. Fast forward 3 years. The world was still hers. Eugene, Oregon, the 2022 World Championships. A field of young sprinters buzzed with ambition. Sha'Carri Richardson was absent that year, but the crowd's energy belonged to Shelly once again. She was now 35, but her body was ageless. Her stride, surgical. Her eyes, locked in quiet fire. She burst out of blocks and held form. Smooth, efficient, devastating. 10.67 seconds. Gold again. The world bowed to her consistency. 5-time world champion. No athlete, male or female, had ever done it quite like her. And when asked about her motivation, she simply said, "Because I can." That was the Shelly-Ann way, to conquer not by explaining, but by doing. Her celebration wasn't wild. It was calm. She smiled, lifted the Jamaican flag, and kissed the ground. That kiss symbolized something deeper, a farewell not to competition, but to fear. She had already become immortal. Everything after this was art. 2023, Sha'Carri Richardson, The Rebirth of Fire. No story of modern sprinting could exist without the woman who turned controversy into charisma, Sha'Carri Richardson. By 2023, her narrative had already been written 100 times and rewritten 100 more. Suspended in 2021, doubted by critics, dismissed as too loud, too emotional, too much. But when the 2023 World Championships arrived in Budapest, she wasn't there for approval. She was there for redemption. Standing in lane 9, the so-called bad lane, she whispered to herself before the gun. They tried to bury me. They didn't know I was a seed. Bang. From the blocks, she flew, a comet streaking through doubt and memory. By 60 meters, she was in contention. By 80, she was unstoppable. By the finish line, she was champion of the world. 10.65 seconds. Gold. Redemption. The scream she let out afterward wasn't triumph alone. It was release. Years of pain, judgment, loss, and resilience poured into one sound that shook the stadium. Tears mixed with joy as she draped the American flag around her shoulders. "I'm not back," she said through tears. "I'm better." That moment marked the rebirth of American sprinting. A new chapter, bold and unapologetic. Sha'Carri Richardson didn't just win for herself. She won for every black woman who was ever told she was too much for the world. 2025, Melissa Jefferson Wooden. The Quiet Storm. And then came Melissa Jefferson Wooden. By 2025, the stage had been set by legends. But she was different, quieter, humbler, less flashy. She didn't crave headlines. She craved progress. Her rise had been steady, from collegiate champion to relay anchor, to world finalist. But this year in Tokyo, she wasn't satisfied with almost. The 100-meter final was stacked. The reigning champion Richardson, Jamaica's Brianna Williams, Britain's Dina Asher-Smith, and Nigeria's Favour Afolabi. Yet, amid the chaos, Melissa stood calm. And at the center of that circle, belief. Belief that black women could be strong and soft. Belief that motherhood could coexist with world records. Belief that redemption could be more beautiful than perfection. Belief that humility could triumph in a loud world. Epilogue, the final relay. Imagine a relay that spans time. Tori Bowie in the first leg, the graceful pioneer, sprinting with elegance through London rain. She passes the baton to Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce, the mother warrior flying across Doha's desert air. Shelly hands it to Sha'Carri Richardson, the phoenix, burning brighter than doubt itself. And finally, Sha'Carri gives it to Melissa Jefferson Wooden, the quiet finisher, steady and strong, running into tomorrow. The baton glows, not gold, but light. The crowd rises. And as Melissa crosses that invisible finish line of history, we realize this was never just about speed. It was about the beauty of becoming. The eternal echo. Long after crowds fade and the spikes are hung, the echo remains, that sound of thunder rolling through generations. Every time a young girl steps on a track, adjusts her blocks, and dreams of gold, she's not starting from zero. She's running on the legacy these women left behind. And maybe, somewhere in that wind, you'll hear them, laughing, running, living forever in motion. Tori, Shelly, Sha'Carri, Melissa, 5 queens, 1 kingdom, a decade of divine speed. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.